Hey, hello and welcome to the show. It's me, JP. It's time for another episode of JP's Product Pick of the Week. Thank you for joining me. If you're wondering where to go to find this week's product pick, then I recommend you head over to that. Darn it, I got it wrong again. That QR code. It's backwards, it's mirrored. Or to this URL, and that will be where you'll find the 50% off discount on this week's product pick. Also, this show, it's being broadcast from right inside of that product page, so why not head on over there? Also, I'll say, if you're wondering where the chat is happening at, it's right here on Discord, so head over to adafruit.it/Discord, head to the live broadcast chat channel, and you'll see people chatting and emojiing and other stuff. So, before I tell you about this week's product pick, what I'm going to do is have Lady Ada tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll get into some demos. All right, hold on one second, and let's bring up Lady Ada. Hey, Lady Ada.
The DVI Breakout. Woohoo! Well, I think it's exciting. This is a pretty cool board. So the DVI Breakout is kind of what it sounds like. It's just a breakout board for a DVI connector, which you might also call an HDMI connector, but for reasons we're not going to call it that. We're not going to call it HDMI. We're going to call it DVI. So this.
Someone will say that looks like an HDMI cable being plugged into it, and I would say, yes, that's true.
It's going into an HDMI monitor.
Yeah, I'd say that's true. And so I'm going to do a little bit of a split screen. So you're saying, oh, okay, well.
So what? So what is this
where
DVI?
Does that HDMI cable lead to?
Where is it going?
To here. This is live, coming off the device right now.
So if you want your Raspberry Pi Pico to make ebon heads bounce around, this is your bag. You want this breakout. I made this specifically because I saw Ren, who is a developer for the Raspberry Pi Foundation, was doing a lot of really cool demos with generating DVI signal from a Raspberry Pi Pico, an RP2040, which I just thought was just hilarious because it's like a total abuse of the microcontroller. And like I said, we're punk. We know the rules, so let's break them. Right. You're not supposed to do this, but he did it anyways, or they did it anyways. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want to play with that. And that's when I realized we don't have a DVI breakout in the store. I was like, oh, that could be a really handy thing if you want to. This is a DVI or HDMI source device, so it does not have the EEPROM. So if you're looking at it, you're like, why is the EEPROM not soldered in? That's for if you want to use it as a sync device, which we may also create a breakout that is a different product that has the source EEPROM that you could reprogram with the EID. This is for the sync. This is the source. So this is for generating signal into an HDMI monitor. There's more demos than this, but I just thought this one was the funniest one because it's just ebon heads bouncing around. So you can change this to be your own head, I guess. It's pretty straightforward. You've got your HDMI compatible mechanical connector soldered onto a board with 200-ish ohm resistors in series for the 8 data lines and then ground pins in between.
Is it DVI-D or DVI-I?
This is D. This is digital video.
So what I'm going to do is actually jump down here to this down shooter and grab mine. Yeah, check it out. It comes with these pins here, but this is the main attraction right there. Flop back over here. This week's product pick of the week is the DVI Breakout. Now, you're going to want to use this with a Pico microcontroller. There may be ways to use it with some other ones, but the demos that we have are for use with the Pico. So the first thing I want to do is actually show you the board I wired up to use this. You can see you can breadboard it, or I did a little bit of a sort of solder job here using a nice little proto board. So there you can see I've soldered on my Pico and my DVI Breakout. It has that HDMI compatible connector right there. I've also added a little reset button and a little LED and a resistor there. And you can see all my wiring is underneath here, and that's just running all of these pins to their data pins as well as ground on the Pico. And then I just covered that up with another proto board. So I have a nice little neat way to plug that in. And what I'll do next is give you a demo of what that looks like. So I've actually got a monitor set up right here behind me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in, first of all, power over USB to my Pico. That'll fire that up. And then I'm going to plug in HDMI. So this is a DVI signal over the HDMI cable. I'll go ahead and plug that in, and there you can see we've got a delightful demo of a bunch of sprites. So here we have Phil, Lemore, Lars, and I've also got a little Raspberry Pi, sort of a goth version of the Raspberry Pi logo going there. And what you get here is I believe it's 5 bits for red, green, blue, and 1 bit for alpha. So we can knock stuff out. That's how we're doing the sort of transparency around the sprites, as well as inside of that black Raspberry Pi logo there. So you'll see those sliding over. And this, I've got it running at 1280. So this will run at pretty high resolutions. I've got something like, I think, 100 sprites, 85 sprites on screen at a time. They're all moving really smoothly, really nice. I think this might be 30 frames a second, might even be higher. And that is all using some C code. If you want to take a look at the code that I'm running for this, what you'll do is head over here to bring up the page. So there's the product page. If I refresh this, you'll see it's a reasonable $1.95 normally, but today you can get it during this show for 98 cents, a maximum of 10 of them. And you compare that with a few of the Pico microcontrollers, Raspberry Pi Pico, RP2040 there. Those are $4 each. I think we have a maximum of 3 of those. You can also pick up 3 of the ones that come with headers. Those are $5 each. So you get yourself a nice little set of DVI experimentation boards. If you take a look at our product page for this, you'll see we have a zip file you can download that'll give you a UF2 to put on the board, and that'll be the demo with the Raspberry Pis and Eben's head. You can also head over to Ren6991 on GitHub. He's the engineer who developed this, and you get a bunch of information about the project. You can also download the code so you can compile the demos yourself, which is what I did here. And this is a linked page to that gives you a lot more information about how DVI is possible over this microcontroller. But if you look here, the code, bring that up for you. I don't have the development environment set up on this computer. I was doing it inside, so I won't be able to change it here. But this is the code in general. It's got some defines that make it easy to switch and try different resolutions. So I'm doing 1280 by 720 at 30 hertz, okay? And then there are some includes for the graphic files. I have some different ones. You start with a PNG, and there's a little script you can use to convert those to the .h format that it'll bring in here. And then you can compile it and drag that main.c over to the board, or actually the UF2 rather, that it compiles. And it'll embed the graphics in it. So it's pretty quick and easy once you get that set up. There's some nice instructions in our tutorials for how to do that. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to do is we'll do this a little bit on the fly. Give me 1 second. I'll see what's going on in the chat there while I take the output, and instead of going into this monitor, I'm going to put it into a capture card on my computer here, so we should be able to see it at sort of full resolution and frame rate, and you're not going to be looking at a video of a monitor there. So let's see. Let me see if I can replace where my down shooter is going. Should be right here. Let's see what my capture card thinks of that. There's a chance this won't work. I didn't test it beforehand, so let's see. Oh, I didn't plug it into the right thing, clearly. Let's try this one. Input. Yeah, that'll help. Oh, I've grabbed the wrong... I'm going to disrupt my whole setup here. Oh, I found it. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Here it comes. Let's see. If it recognizes this signal, the capture card might not. I'm going to power the microcontroller on and off. Okay, so now I've got HDMI running to a little capture device over here. Yeah, it might not like it. So that capture device, I think, has some settings I would need to fiddle with. This monitor is an older one. Older HDMI monitors are great for this sort of thing because they're a little less picky. But you can you can usually massage most monitors if you can get to the settings. So I'll bail on that. That was something I didn't prep for, so we'll get that back up and running there. That's a little better. So let's see. Anything I left out? Any questions? Let me know. There are some cool things you can do, by the way, with even though we only have a 1-bit alpha channel, you can do things like checkerboard alphas and stripes, diagonal, horizontal, and then you get some cool moire patterns when objects pass in front of each other. So even though it's a 1-bit alpha that we're using here in this code, it's probably possible to use a higher bit depth alpha as well as do some cool tricks there. So let's see, I think that'll do it. This is the product pick right here. It is going to be 50% off, so a very reasonable 98 cents. So you get the HDMI output for your DVI that you can use with the Pico RP2040. And like I said, you can get up to 10 of those. There's no coupon code needed, so if you want to get this, just go ahead and place an order during the show. The deal will go away as soon as the show is over, or pretty soon thereafter. You can also get yourself some proto board if you want to replicate the way that I've built this here, and a Pico or two if you don't have them. And we've also got some HDMI cables. In fact, I was doing a really low profile build for a small monitor when I was testing using some of our little DIY HDMI cables. So we have ribbon that you can put different types of ends on. Socket and output, input, different right angle, straight. So these are really cool if you want to do a small build. In fact, one of the monitors that we have, a little HDMI monitor that I was using, I think it's one of the 7-inch HDMI monitors, also has a USB port on it, which was perfectly good for powering this. So I was able to make it essentially self-contained. So perfect for doing experimentation. It's also obviously great for entertaining screensavers. There's a bunch of demos. If you take a look in let me pull this back up here. If you take a look in Ren's repo here, there are demos. Let's see, are they listed here? Let's go up to software. If we go to apps, here we go. So this Bad Apple demo, Christmas Snowflakes Color Terminal, logging, dual display, a hello, there's fractals, Mandelbrot, Mandelful, moon is a beautiful dithered moon still. So there's the sprite bounce, which is this demo, terminal, tiles and sprites, tiles parallax, Vista palette, Vista. So a lot of cool demos there. I think we have at least some of those pre-compiled in the download that's in the product page here. So if you just take a look at these, some cool demos. This tutorial, you can download the super fun example. I'll give you bouncy ebon heads. That's a zip file with some different demos. Oh, I didn't show you that, sorry. Yeah, right here. So if you take a look at this, this will download a zip, Pico DVI test zip. All right, so yes, Tackle the World over in the YouTube chat says total abuse of a microcontroller. Yes, yeah, really wild that a $4 microcontroller plus this adapter can do this. I'm a big fan of this and really cool if you're interested in experimentation. So that is going to do it for today. That is my product pick. It is the DVI Breakout for the Pico RP2040 with HDMI connector. And oh my gosh, I forgot to grab something to hang that with. We'll use this HDMI cable in desperation. All right, we'll wrap that around here. See if that stays. Put this in a little knot. Oh my gosh, it's the most exciting. Is it going to work? There it goes. All right, thanks everyone so much for stopping by. I'm John Park. This has been JP's product pick of the week. And just a reminder, I'm going to be out this Thursday, so I will see you again next Tuesday for product pick of the week, and then I'll resume JP's workshop. Thanks everyone. See you soon.